Hey, it's me again, Mike Rowe here at a Ford dealer with Fiona, talking tires. Fiona here was just telling me that about every 5 seconds, Ford dealers sell a tire. How's that possible?
Well, Mike, Ford purchases about 3 million tires a year.
Seems like a lot of tires.
We have a lot of tires, 11 major brands.
This is exciting. I'm keeping track as we go. And you just sold one right now.
We also have what's called the low price tire guarantee.
How's that work?
We'll beat anybody's advertised price, guaranteed.
And you just did?
That's correct.
There goes another one. You're not going to run out, are you?
Absolutely not.
Promise?
I promise.
There goes another one again.
Right now, buy 4 tires and get a $100 rebate at your Ford dealer. Name brands include Goodyear, Continental, Pirelli, Hankook, Dunlop, and Yokohama tires. That's $100.
Every 5 seconds, wait for it, and boom, it just happened. You sold one right now. It's very exciting. I can do this all day.
Me too.
Feel like we have.
Competitor's ad required for tire guarantee. $100 rebate can't be combined with other tire manufacturer rebate or offer. See participating Ford dealer or visit FordOwner.com for rebate details through 5/31.
Time to wake up and smell the sports. This is the Morning Sports Center with Mark Heim and Lee Shermanian on Sports Radio 105.5 FM and WNSP.com. The latest sports news, scores, local and national news, plus world and local news, weather and traffic information. And it's all free. WNSP's Morning Sports Center starts now.
Americans heard the news and went wild.
Well, welcome into a Friday edition of the Morning Sports Center. Mark Heim and Lee Shervanian with you for the next 3 hours right here on Sports Radio 105.5 WNSP and WNSP.com. We got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk some auto racing at 6:35. We'll talk to Bob Baumhauer at 6:50. Coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, Ian Thompson on the NBA. Dan Arkus, Pro Football Weekly. John Ricchetti at the end of the show. But now we turn our attention to the state of Virginia. Trey, will you go ahead and punch them up, please, sir? I'm having technical difficulties already. We talked a little bit about this throughout the course of the week. We now bring in Oscar Smith, high school football coach, Richard Morgan, who joins us here on WNSP. He is the former high school coach of Philip Sims, the quarterback who was recently transferred from Alabama. Richard, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Good. Appreciate you joining us. I know it's been a hectic week over there. We, like most people in this state, saw some comments that were mentioned in the Virginia Pilot. Specifically, what jumped out at people down here was your comment that Philip was in a situation where I thought he was the better quarterback, but he was the out-of-state guy. You mentioned how in-state guys would get the nod over out-of-state guys. One, was that comment accurate? And two, were you taken out of context?
Well, I think I was taken out of context, and if I offended some people, I apologize for that. But I came on your show this morning to try to explain, how the question was and what led to, what led to the answer, and so maybe people could have a better understanding about it.
Well, go ahead and, if you could, explain where the story went wrong and what was your intention when you made the comments that you made in comparing Philip Sims and his decision to leave Alabama and A.J. McCarron.
Well, the initial question I got was, Coach, can you help explain to people how Philip didn't get the job at Alabama, or can you help explain to people what, how the decision was made? And obviously I'm not there. I have no idea, and I certainly don't have any input in the decision-making process. But what I said was, what you have is you have two excellent quarterbacks battling for a job. They were co-starters or considered to be equal heading into the spring, and then that competition, went all the way through the summer. And I believe it was up for the first 2 or 3 games was the plan there. And between all that time, finally, when the decision was made, A.J. McCarron got the job and Philip didn't, and obviously Coach Saban made a good decision. He went 12-1, and they won the national championship. So, and I believe I said that too. It was like, look, kid played great, and the kid was playing well the whole season. So there's really nothing to complain about. What I was simply trying to explain was sometimes when you got a kid that's older, more experienced, that makes a difference. And of course, if you're from the great state of Alabama, obviously, that's a big deal to everybody down there, but that really wasn't the context that I meant it in, and that's why he got the job. He got the job for a variety of reasons based on the way he played. I was just making the comment that, Philip's not from there, and the other boy is, so obviously, there's a lot of people supporting him, just like I support Philip. And when I say that I think Philip's good, I love Philip like my own son. I think he's a great quarterback. So, of course, I'm going to support my guy, but obviously I had, no intention of discrediting anybody down there. I'm not going to. One of the comments was that I called out Coach Saban. I'm not even qualified to call out Coach Saban. I would never do that. I was just simply trying to explain to people, what probably transpired through the 9-month process of deciding who the quarterback was going to be. And again, none of my business who they picked. I was just simply answering a question.
Coach, I appreciate you coming on. I'm Lee Shervanian, I'm the co-host on the show. Let me ask you a question. And I know you I'm almost sure you kept in touch with Philip Simms. Did he ever give an indication to you that was the case, that he was being, let's say, bypassed unfairly?
Oh, no, sir, not at all. The competition was fair, and it was equal, and it went all the way through. Not at all. I've sent a lot of kids to college, and sometimes the ones that go out of state have started and played very well, and other times they haven't. And sometimes kids that go in state have started and played very well, and some haven't. So no, nothing from Philip. It's just I was trying to. They wanted me to explain to the readers what's the process when a kid goes to school, and he's fighting for a position. And I just listed a bunch of factors and things like that, but no, nothing from Philip. Philip's a great kid, and he did nothing but support that program. And he was if his name had gotten called, he'd have been ready to play for Alabama, and he loved every minute there. So no, nothing from Philip, not at all.
Richard Morgan, Philip Simms high school coach at Oscar Smith High School up in Virginia, our guest here on WNSP. Richard, one of the comments that you were quoted saying, if it was the case where McCarron was a senior and Philip had to sit one more year and then have 2 years, he wouldn't leave. But yet Philip and Nick Saban have both said that he was leaving for personal reasons, family health reasons. Do you believe that he was leaving simply because he wasn't getting playing time, or were there some circumstances there that he couldn't help?
Well, and I didn't want to go into that with the other article I did, because to be honest with you, I wasn't going to be the one that said anything, and that was why I kind of said, well, maybe he would have stayed if it was a different situation. The point of the matter is that there's a family circumstance that obviously, and I'm sure you'll respect, I can't comment on, but there's a need for Phil to be closer to his family, and I'm sure that need will probably come out, some other time, but I can't be the person that says it. But no, there is a need, but I didn't want to put people's business out there in an article that I was doing, because I got caught off guard. I was driving home from work, and I heard the news that the release had been put out there, and I didn't want to be the person that said it, so I just kind of stayed away from it and said, well, I don't know, maybe he would have stayed if the situation was different, because I didn't want to put the real crust of the situation out there, because it wasn't my business. So, that was the reason for, that part of the comment. That's all.
Coach, let me ask you something. If let's say you have another hot prospect and he's being recruited nationwide, would you still support an athlete from your school coming to a school in Alabama, or any school in Alabama, or any school down south?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing that I always talk to my kids and to my parents about is, whatever you feel is the best situation for you, go. I support it, because, you're the one that has to be there. You got to feel comfortable with the coaching staff, the players, the environment, the school itself. I mean, you're the one that has to be there. So if that school, whatever it is 500 miles away or 3,000 miles away, go, because I support you, because that's where you're going to be, and you got to be where you're going to be happy. So I don't let, if things don't work out at one place, I don't let that hold over and say, well, I'm not going to send anybody there again. That's not fair to the kids, because every kid and every situation is different. And to be honest with you, nothing happened bad at Alabama. Philip loved it there. I mean, you had two great quarterbacks on the best team in the country. Well, only one can play. Okay, but that was it. But Philip would still be there if another situation hadn't arisen. And so, no, I would never hold anything over anybody when it comes to a kid going to school. We send 10, 11 kids to school every year at various places, and they're all treated fairly and they're all treated the same, and I got no problem with that.
Richard Morgan, our guest here on WNSP for another 90 seconds or so, because I know you got to get going. But were you surprised by the reaction to the story and to the comments that were made in the Virginia pilot, and how far-reaching did they become?
Well, I guess, yes and no. Was I surprised? Well, the answer to that part, the first part, would be yes, because I'm like, wait, I don't think people understand what I was talking about or what I was really trying to say. So I was surprised that it got taken to that level of people being upset and frustrated. But am I surprised? On the other hand, no. I mean, let's face it, Alabama football is, the best in the country. So obviously it's a passionate fan base and things like that. And obviously, if you see something that rubs you the wrong way, you're going to comment on it. And I fully support and understand that. It's just that coming on your show today, I wanted to make people understand that no, I wasn't calling out anything. Alabama's a great place, and Nick Saban's, he's a legend. He's an idol. So, no, it wasn't like that. But, it's just the world we live in. People are passionate about things, and if you say something that infuriates somebody, people are going to respond. And I understand that, but I wanted to make sure that, hey, there was some other things going on, and I really didn't mean it the way it may have come off. Because sometimes when you read things, they come off a little bit different than the way the person said them.
What do you, before I let you go, what do you say to those who contend that what you said was nothing more than sour grapes, that your guy didn't get a chance to play and that he just got beat by a better quarterback?
Oh no, I mean he got a chance, and it was a fair competition. And like I said, at other positions, running back, quarterbacks, or running backs, receivers, things like that, kids are rotating all the way through. It's just quarterback's a position where there's only going to be one guy on the field. Sour grapes, no, I don't have any ill will or anything like that. I love Philip. I think he's a great player. And, fortunately for Alabama, they had another great player quarterback, so they had a decision to make. They made it. Coach Saban's Coach of the Year, so obviously he made the right decision, and they won the national title. So you can't fault anything that happened. So I have no ill feelings. I have no sour grapes, and if I offended people, I certainly didn't mean to, and I'm sorry.
Richard, certainly appreciate your time. Know it's been a tough week. Hopefully you won't have to hear from us again. All right, man.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, thanks.
All right, man. That's Richard Morgan. He's the Philip Sims high school coach. We'll take your reaction next. 694-1055. It's Morning Sports Center right here on Sports Radio 105.5 WNSP.